Hello there. Any Old Port in a Storm. Truly the best Columbo episode. Columbo fans agree, it seems. IMDb ranks it top episode with a score of 8.3. In short, the plot is this. Eccentric wine connoisseur Adrian Carsini murders his half-brother Rick Carsini after being informed that he intends to sell Adrian's beloved winery and associated land. The opening scenes of this episode demonstrate that Adrian Carsini is clearly a much respected, perhaps even revered figure within the wine industry. He is a man obsessed with all things related to fine wine. This is, in essence, his entire life. Hence, his brother Rick's intention to sell the winery simply could not be tolerated. The primary factor that makes this episode stand above the rest is the actor Donald Pleasence's superb performance in the role of Adrian Carsini. He appears to revel and excel in this type of acting role. He manages to convey Carsini's zeal and passion for fine wine with a considerable brilliance, and in my opinion, his excellent performance was assisted by some of the best script writing of any of the Columbos. Donald Pleasence is probably most recognisable in the iconic and reoccurring role of Dr. Sam Loomis from the Halloween movie franchise. Coincidentally, Jamie Lee Curtis, who starred in multiple Halloween movies, can be seen playing a waitress in a 1977 episode of Columbo. One more thing of note, Pleasence also appeared in an episode of the Columbo spin-off series, Mrs. Columbo, where he once again played the murderer. Rick Carsini, who I may point out looks absolutely nothing like his brother Adrian, is played by the actor Gary Conway, and coincidentally, in real life, he and his wife are actually owners of a winery. Rick Carsini's car is the highly desirable Ferrari 330 GTS. The average price of this car in 2021 is apparently $2.15 million in good condition. Only 100 330 GTS models were made between 1966 and 1968. Lieutenant Columbo actor Peter Falk expressed significant praise for this episode in his 1973 interview with Johnny Carson. He obviously enjoyed working with Donald Pleasence and said he was one of the world's great actors, which is true. He was a highly accomplished character actor. In a presentation from the early 1990s, Peter Falk himself apparently ranked this as the best episode of Columbo. Unlike in most Columbos, the scriptwriters chose to use a non-premeditated murder. Logically then, it follows that the murderer's confidence is somewhat reduced. The character of Adrian Carsini does not display the usual arrogant attitude typical of the murderer in most Columbo episodes. He actually demonstrates avowed anxiety, certainly in the earlier interactions with Columbo. There are some great interactions between Columbo and Carsini. Columbo goes to the effort of improving his wine-tasting skills, as he would seemingly like to impress Carsini, or perhaps he intends to use this as a means of catching him off guard. Either way, Carsini is genuinely impressed by Columbo. Carsini does not patronize Columbo, as is so often the case with the murderers in other Columbo episodes, which makes it a somewhat refreshing change from the standard formula. A scene near the end of this episode, set in an upmarket restaurant, is likely one of the funniest scenes you will see in any Columbo. Peter Falk's friend plays the role of maitre d', the actor Vito Scotti. If you're a fan of Columbo, you may recognise him from 5 other Columbos. In these, he has played a clothing salesman, an undertaker, a tramp, a soybean wholesaler, and a bar owner. In this restaurant scene, Columbo lays a trap for Carsini. This makes use of a bottle of port he stole from Carsini's own wine collection. It's a 1945 Ferrier vintage port. Now, a bottle of this in 2021 costs $1,132. Carsini certainly knew a quality wine. In the final scenes, Columbo explains how Carsini essentially convicted himself with his own expert wine-tasting skills. Carsini appears almost relieved that he is caught, somewhat understandable considering the loss of his precious wine collection, and the addition of unwanted romantic pressures from his personal assistant, Karen. This Columbo episode has one of the more satisfying endings. Carsini compliments Columbo on the speedy improvements in his wine knowledge. Columbo indicates genuine gratitude at this compliment. Both men clearly have a mutual admiration for each other. This is one of those rare occasions where Columbo seems to demonstrate sympathy for the murderer. Well, that's it from me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See ya.